Okay, well, except
Yeah.
all of these people that are saying right now,
Yeah.
fuck all of them, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Be Free podcast. And the good thing about being free is that you can be free with friends. How cute is that? I thought it was cute. I just made that up on the spot. And today, talking about friends, talking about students, coaches, and everything beautiful that is in life, I'm here with a beautiful Seyed again. Second podcast. What up, my brother?
My man, thank
Hey.
you so much for having me again.
Man, the main reason why I feel like it's so great to have you here is because the last podcast that we did, we had such a great conversation. And I feel like we should just sit down, have another conversation. It was also one of our most viewed podcasts so far.
Look at that.
And I feel like, I don't prefer to just get big guests and whatever that don't give a shit about. I give a lot of shits about you and other people that I do tend to get on myself, having a fun conversation, this and that. But main question and main concern is I don't.
Obviously, it's such a good experience to be here, back on the pod again with you, Rebien. Not just because I love to be having conversations with you, but also you just show me so much genuine love, like showcasing me and all that stuff. So before we jump into any other stuff about how I feel, thank you so much. I'm really grateful again. And yeah, man, it's all love. It's all love. And I say this often. It's not about the journey or the destination. It's all about the company. And you're one of the best company to have. And your company is also a really good company to work in.
Are you talking about the company of friends that I have to work with or the actual company itself?
It's both. It's the same. If you think about it, what does a company consist of? It's humans. The company of people that you build it with, the team, right? So in the sense of like, it's not about the journey or the destination. It's all about the company. You can say it business wise. You can also say it friends wise. It's the same to me. So we're in good company. We're really blessed. Even behind the cam, got some amazing people with us right now. Lacetti and Kevin. You're gonna have a podcast with Kevin as well.
Yeah.
So long story short, I feel great.
You feel
How
great.
you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Company is going fine. I'm talking about the company around us, man. It's gonna get cheesy if we just keep it going like this. But yeah, no, bro. Like, you know what the most interesting thing and the most fun thing is to work together with people, with friends, with people that you trust. In this sense, like I could give anything that I have to you, and I would know that nothing would happen to it, or greater things will happen to it, right? And this is something that I've like truly appreciated for people at home watching or on the toilet, depending on where you're watching
Wherever
this
you
podcast.
are.
Yeah, wherever you are. Maybe you're jogging or you're just playing chess. Who knows? But Sudoku. But the most amazing thing is that you are such an extension to whatever it is that I seek, and you're that to a lot of people, right? Personally, if there's something that I could tell anyone in the podcast is, hey, along the journey of your entrepreneurship, you're going to get to places and points where you're just stuck and you don't know where to proceed to. And in those cases, you need to be very self-aware and see what you're lacking in order to get someone or something along that can really fill in those gaps. Well, of course, you started as a student for me.
Yes, I did.
And as you know, I'm fucking chaotic and like all over the place. And you yourself, you are so structured, so secure, so detailed. So having you along in the team, not only just as an old school salesman, but now as the structure and the backbone of the company is something so great and so powerful. And once again, Tech Wizard said, like,
Like whizzing it up.
yeah, man, and it's beautiful to see you shine in those places too, man.
Yeah. Thank you for recognizing the talent because of you, I've realized a lot of things about myself. I started doing solutions and fixing things for you, giving structure, giving automations to the company. And you're like, Sayed, people pay thousands of dollars a month to get what you can make for someone for a few thousand one-time payment. And I was like, oh, really? I should consider making this a product or something like that. So beyond just working together and the mentorship you gave me before, I have this continuous like reinvestment or like this compounding effect almost of being friends with you that really elevates me and helps me and brings me back. A few days ago, we were sitting outside of the villa in Bali, and you were talking about the podcast, and I was like, hell yeah, you should bring the podcast back. It was so good. Remember back in the day when we were doing Secret Scale in the Netherlands? Your podcast was one of the most valuable things. I remember doing like half an hour of the course, listening to you doing the assignments, then going outside for a walk and listening to your podcast with whatever entrepreneur was there. And as I was saying that, Kevin was sitting next to us and he said, can I just say, that is really cool. And then it hit me. I realized, like, I'm in Bali in the villa with this guy. I'm working with him. We're creating beautiful things, and he invites me to his podcast. So, you know, dreams do really come true. You can be that student that can go from being a nobody or being just a beginner to someone that becomes really important to your mentor, and just beyond blessed, man. Thank you so much.
Well, now all of the compliments are out of the way. Let's start with a podcast.
Let's talk shit now.
Yeah, fuck everything. Do you know the best thing about a podcast, especially like the
I'm
whole?
gonna take my shoes off.
Yeah, bro. Look, like, go for it. Like, just send them.
The Bali life people.
Send them. We're in comfort mode. You know, we go full on sports mode. The great thing about having a podcast is just basically having an excuse to talk to someone for an hour. Like that's basically it, right? The only reason why I would want to have a podcast is just have chill conversations. Fuck the clips or fuck whatever's coming out of it, right? Like, so much entertaining and fun stuff comes out of a podcast, and it's just an excuse to sit next to each other. Like, you don't have your phone, you don't have a reason, you need to talk about stuff. And now the microphone and cameras are on at the same time, so you're just having a lot of time, like a lot of fun, and you're forced to go deeper. And well, we know each other. We already do. Like, we basically have podcasts if we're just sitting outside somewhere, having dinner, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the conversation go on attended from any of the other places. But
yeah, and this is again why it's so important to have the right people around you.
Mm.
Because on average, what do you talk about with your peer group? What are the conversations, right? When you look
Lizard
at
people.
you,
Oh, sorry. What? Oh,
secret societies,
yeah, there you go.
skull and bones. We're gonna get flagged if we post this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, there's certain things that you don't come across in.
And you don't speak about like all of the stuff you just said. Sorry.
What? What do you mean?
What
What do you mean?
Cut it out, the city.
No, actually, let's talk about it. You know what? We've been prosecuted our whole lives, haven't we?
Wait, are we actually gonna go there now?
No. Let's tease a little. So,
Right.
for those who
Okay.
don't know, some of the terms we just said, you can Google them. You can also not look into them. But anyone that isn't aware, the world isn't what it seems. It's all a little deeper than it seems. And the moment you do self-development, I feel like you start to unveil a little bit of the reality that's underneath. And this is also why it's so unbelievable for people that are living a 9 to 5, or as we say, NPCs, right?
So let me. What you're saying is, okay, cool. When you start to living more free, it makes sense that some things don't make sense, right? Just to put it in a little bit of a more surface level way of
You question things more.
There you go.
And when you question things, you
Yeah.
will find answers that you did not expect.
Well, let me also just give a little bit of a heads up, right? You find answers and you're quite biased because you want to find those answers. So you're always looking for specific things because you want to strengthen your own opinions on stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything is 100% true. Everything is bustable. There are a lot of theories around everything. So before we go too deep into this rabbit hole and whatever, but the one thing that is really right though is the more successful you get, the more free you get, the more you start seeing that some things just don't make sense in the way that society is being run. For one, we both can agree, we all can agree here, society's fucked, right? The way society is being built, the way people are being treated. If we're looking at both our situations, for example, we're both from refugee families coming into a Western Western country, and both us could have become criminals if it wasn't for our strong ass motherfucking parents.
Shout out to our parents, man.
100%, 80 to 90% of people like us become criminals, become poor.
Waste man, you know, like.
Exactly, and that's not like that they're not educated. Like, if anything, my dad is not really educated. I don't know how your parents are, but
Well, I never really spoke on the pod about it, but my parents were born in Afghanistan. They met and they married, and I was really lucky that my father was handicapped. Now you say, why are you lucky?
Yeah.
Because back in the day in Afghanistan, when the war broke out, you were going to be drafted for becoming a soldier, right? And the chance of you dying by a Taliban bomb or by Russian or UK soldiers or whatever, it's a dangerous life.
Yeah,
a lot of people in Ukraine right now are experiencing this. In Russia right now, they're experiencing this.
Same thing, yeah.
So what happens when a soldier has like a
Disability.
handicap or
Yeah.
disability?
Yeah,
He's
sure.
not fight worthy, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So what are they going to do with him? They're going to give him an office job, or they're just going to say you're not worthwhile as a soldier.
Sure.
Now imagine your dad has a handicap, but at the same time, that is the reason why he never died, why he didn't get drafted, and you were able to flee because of that.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But like, what is? Did your mom study anything? Did they go like?
She was a like lower grade teacher.
Interesting.
Yeah, but she was always like meant to be a house mom. I think I come from a very traditional family.
Do you know what like what's so interesting to me? Like I've never really looked into this, so I wouldn't have this like the numbers for it. But why is it that the intelligent people and the intelligent refugees that we see actually do tend, or like intelligent quote unquote, right,
I can tell you this.
have the criminal children?
What are you talking about?
No, but like what I've
Okay, hard times make strong men. Strong men make easy times. Easy times make weak men, and weak men make hard times.
Bro, all of
It's
these
a
people that
cycle.
are from all of these refugee countries, they have had hard times. To be fair, though, if we're all right, let's just take Syria, right? Syria, Holland situation where we're from, and yeah, I don't know what kind of people are going to London right now, but I know it's also quite a struggle, right? There are like people coming in as refugees, and I've had this whole conversation with them. Actually, like I had this whole debate with this uh, Asian slash Persian guy from no, yeah, crazy combination. Anyway, we were talking about the following statement. He said, "Your parents shape you, and society has nothing to do with it." And I told him, "Yes, your parents shape you, but if you're a refugee coming to a Western country, society has to help you out to." I don't think rehabilitate is the right word, but like to indoctrinate. There you go. Because if they don't, you're gonna get those criminals. Because you gotta imagine you're from a war-torn country. You're from traumatized, fucking obnoxiously
Yeah,
traumatized.
your reality is just not in accordance to what is expected.
I mean, look at yourself. Without going into too much detail, like you're.
I have some rough edges.
Yeah, right. So like, I don't want to completely expose that on a podcast,
No,
but like,
expose it.
it's, you were shipped in a box, like.
I was basically shipped in a box.
Right.
I was guns held to our heads. I was in prison 3 times before I was 5 years old.
There you
You
go.
know, a bunch of bullshit.
And that's horrible as a child,
Of
right?
course.
And then you come into a country where they don't give you that support, where they're just putting you in a like a refugee camp,
Yeah.
compared to these Russian women or like Ukrainian women that are coming to Europe in fucking 5-star hotels.
They are being carried. But this is I think the beauty of life. It's the sooner you learn life isn't fair, the more you stop blaming others and the more you start looking at yourself of like, what can I do?
Oh,
Okay, sure.
We're not blaming anyone,
Yeah.
except society in this case,
Well,
because the thing is,
we are society.
they are fucking up all of these. This is something that I really want to help out with. We both want to, right?
Yeah, we
Especially
want to be inspiring kids like us to not become that.
exactly, and it starts with the root of the problem, which is society not really giving them a helping hand into indoctrinate properly.
You
All
want-
of these kids and all of these parents, because they're traumatized, what they think is survive or die.
True.
So what are the kids thinking and being brought up with? Like,
It's a cycle of trauma. But let's go one layer deeper. Why do these
I love this. Let's go.
why do these people even exist? Why do we have a world where displaced refugees have to flee to the West and to Europe? So there is a small group of people that influences the world in the way where wars are happening, and
Sure, yeah.
it's always like nobody can say a war is a good thing except for weapon manufacturers, except for people that can benefit off of a war because they are selling
100%.
to both sides or whatever. And obviously this is something that you're not going to hear in school and nobody wants to really talk about because
Nobody
they're
talks
like,
about this, nah.
these are scary people, we don't want to mess with them. But if you study history and if you study just like news and if you look at things objectively, you can find and identify the most the ruthless people are the people that don't feel a thing when they are selling, like in the Second World War, in the First World War, during the Cold War, even during the Ukraine war. We can name a few names that will, if you Google them, you can find the holdings and companies that are providing weapons to both the one side and the other. And because they have this like premise of I want to make profit or I want to gain more power, I don't care about the collateral damage. Just like the NSA, you have Edward Snowden. They released a bunch of these like videos during war times that all these crimes are happening and this collateral damage of people dying, people getting bombed, Vietnam War. Like there's so many examples, and it feels like collectively nobody is getting it. Nobody is really like, we're all distracted with like the newest rap song or like the most ridiculous stuff that's
Johnny
happening.
Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah,
and shit
Johnny
like
Depp,
that.
Amber Heard trial, all these distractions, but then in reality, it's so much scarier and deeper. And I think it's also part of the problem. People feel so uncomfortable talking about these subjects.
It's not only that, bro. Like, we have these types of biases where we only care about something when it's happening as close to us. Like, nobody cares about a terrorist attack on an airplane when you're not even flying yourself. And even if you do, it's like, oh, it's only in the U.S., man. I'm in fucking Asia right now. I don't care.
Yeah.
And same with shark attacks, bro. Like, nobody fucking dies of shark attacks. But when you hear there's a shark attack happening, now suddenly you're scared to go into the water. And when you've heard there's a shark attack somewhere very close to you, you're like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't go in the water. And when you heard a friend of you who's like had his arm bitten off by a shark, you'd
You got
never
so
dare to,
scared,
you'd
yeah.
never even dare to go anywhere. And for us, this is close, right? We're both refugees. We've both, well,
We're brown.
I suppose so. It depends on the sun. So we have these biases from ourselves, which is not only biases because we really care because of that, right? To society's bad. This is happening. And I don't feel like it's biases because we're literally seeing it. But other people don't have that. They don't see that because I'm white. I don't care. I've never seen this shit happening in my life.
Yeah.
Ignorant American voice inserted.
It's the same reason which you said earlier about, okay, you as an Afghan kid, you got into a refugee camp. You're just one in a dozen. But when this like blonde, beautiful Ukrainian woman is fleeing from a war, she's being treated very differently. It's the same reason why almost all of the Arabic-speaking countries or all the Muslim countries are like Free Palestine. But because we feel connection and resonance with them because they seem so similar, we share, I can't say we, but like a lot of people share the same ideologies, culture, and religion. But
There's also a very deep layer into that. But let's not get too political here because first of all, or second of all, or third of all, like I'm a humane person, so are you. I appreciate every person. And we both probably, I'm speaking for you now, but I know you well enough to know that we care about people's lives and
I do.
Left or right, whatever reason
Up,
it may
down.
be, up, down,
Boy, girl.
they all deserve.
Anything in between.
They deserve. They deserve a reason to live, right? And that's.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Cancelled.
Cancelled. But they all deserve a reason to live, right? And
Yes.
I was having such an interesting conversation with a bunch of Jews during a party last week. What is so funny?
You say Jewish people or like people of Jewish descent or like.
Brother, who cares? Like, come on. Like, you know what I'm talking about, and I don't even mean
the Holocaust happened.
Just make sure you say
Bro,
that.
There's a lot of people that care.
just quickly look at the camera and say that again.
We are not terrorists.
bro, listen, I'm Kurdish. Like, if there's anything,
I'm Afghan.
I know.
How do you think people see me when I don't speak?
Bro, listen, it's not about speaking. Like, all my people get killed. It's like, I feel for the Jews, right? Like, same thing, same. But
Yeah.
and this is one like, all right, we're on thin ice right now.
No, okay. Let's switch back. Every time I get in a cab in, for example, Cape Town, and it's like a Somali brother.
Oh God, where is this going?
No. It's really cool. Yeah, nobody's gonna understand it. Nobody in the West is gonna understand it.
Okay,
I get in a cab, close the door, you get in,
And he pulls out an AK-47.
No.
Okay, sorry.
I look at the person. Bro, this is really the shittiest but the funniest thing ever.
What are y'all?
I look at him and I'm like, "Where are you from, brother?" He's like, "Somalia." And then immediately the mood changes and I'm like, "Ah." And he's like, "I'm from Afghanistan." And without saying a word, he goes like, "Ah." And then sometimes
Why? Because you're both terrorists?
because
Is that like
we
the joke?
both come from a country that has been at war for so long.
Okay.
And then we say like, same. Hey, yeah, same shit, different country. We're always been like the bottom of when it comes to people or in society. And then it's really
Not really though. Like that's also a perception to have,
yeah,
but
true.
but it's
my sister's a doctor, my brother's an engineer. Like,
that's my exact
We're
point.
well off, yeah.
it's not like the one thing is, okay, we're making a lot of fun here, right? And it's all just fun because once again, I don't have anything bad against any type of religion, people, whatever, etc., etc., etc. Don't look at me like that, Lassetti. like, I've seen the cameraman look at me
Black
like, "Are
cameraman.
you sure about that?" Okay, well, except
Yeah.
all of these people that are saying right now,
Yeah.
fuck all of them, all right? But
Ray, after this podcast, we're gonna have to go explain to people. No, I have white friends. Really, trust me.
Kevin, come here for a second.
they
Kevin,
like me.
Kevin, come on the camera.
we have token
People to
white
see that you're
friends.
white, bro. Come on.
No, I think it's good that we're talking.
I have Jewish friends.
We're breaking it open. We're talking about subjects that people feel uncomfortable about, especially when it
Nah,
comes from
bro,
us.
we're not feeling uncomfortable at all.
No,
If any-
people.
Oh, people. Okay.
Like we're
What kind of people? You want to tell them to the camera?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that if you start talking about these things, they're like, maybe just focus again on like I don't know, women rights and LGBTQ and I mean Kurdish and Afghan people can't be in problem. Can't be.
Okay. Wait. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I was like,
Yeah.
like the camera.
What?
You
What?
know-
What?
No, it's funny, man. Come on. This is so.
What? Because,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
it's
Bro, we're getting so much backlash already.
How many people actually have these conversations in private and they never get showcased?
Nah, bro. Like, honestly, the one thing that I really appreciate, like, I love to make jokes that are so dark and so funny against all religions. But religions, races, anything, always in their face. Only then is it funny. Because the thing is, when I'm doing it in someone's back,
It's sneaky.
it's sneaky, bro, and I mean it in a funny way.
Like, your
And like
intention
I
is
go
wrong.
deep though. I want to dig deep because man, I'm Kurdish, bro. I don't have a country myself. Like, come back at me. I'm gonna go for your race where it hurts the most, so that we can both laugh about it. And people take it so fucking serious, man. People are like so serious about their lives, bro. When I see a Turkish guy. And like we're just laughing it off. We're making a joke about them killing me, and like, haha, PKK, I'll blow you up. Like, well, what the fuck, bro? Of course I'm not gonna blow him up. Of course he doesn't hate me.
But here's the funny thing. In the Netherlands, as I was growing up,
Yeah, sure.
a lot of these like Dutch friends of mine,
Yeah, sure.
they would make jokes about, you're not gonna steal anything, are you? Or like,
What do you mean?
watch
You're
out,
not-
that he's gonna blow you up. Like, you know when you're messing about with friends?
But that's different.
Yeah, but
Like now we're adults. As a child, they don't know
no,
any
no,
better.
we're
and they mean it.
teenagers to adulthood. Like the last time this happened, I was I think 23, 24,
But
and
did it-
the person that said it to me was also that age.
Did
you
it
know?
hurt back then?
No, it stopped hurting a long time ago because.
But how did I mean it? That's what I'm really wondering.
So this is what I understood, and
Yeah.
we spoke about this a lot in life. In the game of life, it's all about getting perspective on the other player's thoughts and feelings, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So when a Dutch friend said that to me in the beginning, I was hurt, being like, "Oh no," and like, "You don't know, I left my country, and they tried to kill us, and how dare you make jokes that I am like the Taliban or I am like the person that
yeah, I
right."
see what you mean.
But then later I understand. This person knows so little about me. The narrative they have is the narrative of the media. Like,
Yeah, sure.
Afghanistan is a war-torn terrorist country.
Sure.
So what are they trying to do? They are looking for ways to connect with me.
Mm.
And what's the most easy way to connect with me? Saying like, "Oh yeah," like making jokes, right?
Yeah,
so
you're-
so
you're
take
a
the
terrorist,
negative.
haha.
Yeah, take
Yeah,
the
okay,
negative,
yeah.
and then now I just laugh it off. I'm just like, ha, Allah Akbar kaboom. You know?
Yeah, just keep on telling to a Jew that the Holocaust happened instead of not, because I don't think that's gonna work if you make a joke like that.
No, but I would never do that. No, honestly, I'd never make any Holocaust jokes.
Let's say it's like I did make that joke to a Jew, though.
No,
No, but it was
Did
funny.
you?
No, of course, yeah, of course. But here's the thing, like,
Wait, you did really?
oh, bro, here's the
Oh,
thing,
astaghfirullah.
bro. But no.
That's-
Stop.
I was like-
Listen. Once again, everything is fine if it's a joke and you don't mean it in a fucking way. Because of course, I don't think that the Holocaust didn't happen. Wait, am I saying this correctly now? The
No, but-
Holocaust did happen. All right, that's what I do
Yes.
believe. I'm not gonna take that away from somebody. I have
Yes,
Armenian friends.
Any suffering that
Bro,
happened
listen,
to
I
any
have
culture.
Armenian friends, very good Armenian friends, and I can see in their eyes because they're closer to me than I have like very Jewish friends. But if anything is taken away from them, is that their whole genocide didn't happen, right? That's the most painful thing you can take, because that is, bro, half of their people. I don't even know how much. I don't want to speak on it. Like 80% of the people just got killed by the Turkish, right? And all the Turkish people right now, what are you saying, bro? That shit didn't happen. Shut up, okay? Like, I don't want to go into political things and do whatever as if the Holocaust happened, as if that happened. But here's my point. When things are serious and we want to talk serious about it, I am so well read into all of these specific topics, which makes it only better to take light of a situation and make a cool joke about it, funny joke about it, because it really depends on how you say something. I've had these conversations so many times with everybody around me. If this means that people are watching my podcast and want to cancel me because I say a joke like that and I don't mean it in a condescending way, cancel me. I don't fucking give a shit, because I know what my heart is, what I mean, and what I want from something, right? And I would say the same thing. For fuck's sakes, I'm saying this on a podcast for everybody to watch to see. And if you have to censor yourself so much that you can't even make a joke, that you can't even see a light in a situation, I don't feel like I even want to be on this world. Bro, let's make our own society, our own world, where we accept everyone and
freedom.
Freedom. Let's call it Freedom Society. And let's teach people like a skill or something so they can make money and help everybody out, like sales or whatever. Like, I know a good guy that's good in sales. Maybe we should help him out.
I think I even know a few students that did it with him and now are living in Bali and,
really,
doing all their dreams and stuff. Yeah.
Interesting. But honestly though, like freedom of speech is like something that I honestly feel is very important. And the one thing that I don't mean this in a way where everybody should just have hate speech and jokes about each other, but I do mean it when you are a person that really wants to make light of a situation and using all of that hurt. That's the best way to do it.
To transmute it.
Exactly.
Just like before I was hurt, and now I'm just like laughing with them and understanding this is just an attempt to connect with me. And
100.
seeing the intention. And the problem is a lot of people, they get stuck on the action and they ignore the intention. And this is where all this cancel culture comes from. I can't take a joke no more. Did you just assume my gender?
Let's actually talk about that.
Stuff.
Why the fuck is it so that 5 to 10 years ago, everything was fine and nobody really gave a shit? You could call the homosexuals certain words. You could call people with a disability certain words. You could make jokes about everything and anything without having the backlash of the media, people on Twitter getting angry at you. Why the fuck is everybody so sensitive nowadays?
We evolved one side, but I also think it's being weaponized. I mean, what's happening?
Bro, sorry. But
they will never know. You will never know what just happened.
The cameraman just...
you will never know what just happened.
Oh, shit. Okay, cool.
Things are being weaponized. Things are honestly being weaponized because now we're going to really get a little deeper. Back in the day, if you wanted to submit if you needed subservience, right?
Sorry, what?
If you wanted people to listen to what you say as a king, right? You would do it by the sword. You would force people. You would, and one of my mentors said this really great thing. The only difference between a king and a peasant is simply the story they believe about themselves and the other.
100%.
The whole society that we see right now is built upon generations of smart people. We all came from like one-celled organisms. So far as science can tell, we've had this evolution. Whether or not we were placed by God, I personally think we have been. Like there's a divine touch to it. But if you look at history, we all come from the same flesh and blood, right?
100%, yeah.
So our thoughts are going to make the difference. That's the difference between a rich and a poor person, a free and an artist, and all of that. But the story you tell yourself, this person is divinely sent by God, and I have to listen to them because they are wiser than me. I shouldn't listen to my own intuition, or I should work on the land for this guy. And the king telling himself, I deserve these people to work for me. I deserve this castle to be built for me in my name, Look at history, look at museums. Yes. Everything that people put ridiculous effort in was because of stories. So what stories are we telling ourselves?
Power. I mean, yes, because of stories that have been told to us, but the one thing that's really interesting is that we as people get so blinded. It is interesting how life on its own is just working on making us more blind. People are so egotistical and get completely turned on by power and money. And it makes you act in a different way. And it's usually always the wrong people that get the power, because those people that are looking for it are...
I'm going to say it's not the wrong people. It's the people that don't have an issue with it. So a lion, does it feel any guilt when it's devouring a gazelle?
Well, no.
No, it's its nature, right?
It's not conscious, no.
So, well, it is conscious.
Well, not to that extent.
But it's following its natural instincts and inclinations without having this fighting.
uh, do this is also an interesting topic. I feel like it's kind of deviating for the subject that we're going from. But what is consciousness? Consciousness is knowing that you are, right? That you are just.
It's I would define it as sensible awareness of out surroundings, so outside of your organism. So a cell has consciousness, but very limited because it can interact with the molecules outside of it. It can chase after glucose. It can turn away from glucose. It can go towards glucose. It can turn away from bacteria, right?
Yes.
So now let's level up a bit. A rabbit, right? It's going to run away from the fox. It's going to look for shelter. It's going to look for snow, but it also feels love. It can interact with other bunnies, make bunny babies, right? So as we go up the level of consciousness, we just become more aware of what? Of the encompassing surroundings that we can interact and touch.
I'm not disagreeing with you. If anything, I agree on the fact that that is an actual thing, but I wouldn't classify it as consciousness. Consciousness is making your own decisions consciously and thinking consciously. Like animals don't think.
Every animal makes decisions.
Yes, instinctively. But they're not thinking consciously.
So the instinct is part of their consciousness. Like just like I said, the one-celled organism.
What is it that makes us different than neckers? Because we can consciously decide whether we want to go left or right, while an animal or whatever instinctively goes left or right.
Our higher faculties are at the same time the biggest benefit and the biggest problem.
The fact that we can know that we can think, right? Which animals
I think
supposedly
therefore I
can.
am.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
The other is just.
No, I would still agree. Yes, this is consciousness, but you have self-awareness.
We're kind of deviating from a point that we're
semantics.
But where were we going to before this? We're talking about people thinking for themselves.
Stories, consciousness. So the less conscious you are, and I think that's where you're trying to get at. The difference between an animal and a human is an animal will do what it wants, but it won't really think about it. It just follows its natural encoding of patterns and thoughts. And a human can deviate from its nature. Look at society. People are putting piercings in their body. They are doing hairstyles. They are living lives or like stuff that is not naturally encoded in you, but because you can conceptually think about new things, you can deviate from your nature. And deviating from your nature in the beginning was, discovering farming, for example, which allowed societies to grow. And then being able to create writing. All of the things that we see around us, modern design, websites, even like social groups, they are all coming forth of our ability to deviate from our natural instincts and inclinations. It's not about like sex in general is not about procreation anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see? So this is consciousness, what you're talking about.
Well,
like we're
funnily
able
enough,
to go against our nature.
Dolphins also have sex for fun.
Yes, but you got to understand, all of the animals that associate sex with fun were able to procreate more. All of those that didn't have interest in sex, they died. So what happens in nature?
But like instinctively, some animal like this is an interesting thing. We have power, which is something not all animals and animals kingdoms do. They just that's not true. Lions also have power.
No, but they're not big G, you know.
They're big D. Well, I don't know if they have a big D, bro.
They're not in the top of the food pyramid.
No, those are horses with the big Ds, probably. Elephants? I don't know.
Elephants. Yesterday I saw a reel. It was oof.
Where are we going?
Which one? The one where he's walking. Can you cut that in right now? Oh, is that? And then blur it. Just blur it.
Blur his cock. Elephant cock is just blurred right now.
Yeah.
We can't even have a fun conversation here. But
dolphins have sex for fun. Humans have sex for fun.
Dolphins actually kill for fun too, and murder and rape. So that interesting.
So the more you develop your consciousness, the more you're able to.
Sadistic you become, bro. What the fuck?
It is true. It is true. And what about if we look at it this way? The more you grow in your human consciousness, the less you care about giving pain to others, because you kind of understand in the bigger cosmic sense, none of it really matters. I am given this ability, so I can do it because I can do it. It is also good.
To be fair, though, the more intelligent people get, the more nihilism.
In some cases. In other cases, people get more empathetic. They get more like Look at a Martin Luther King. Look at a Gandhi. Look at some.
I don't consider that the same type of intelligence. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that in a way where it makes more sense. The more people actually do research, the more they get to science, the more they start realizing multiverse, all of that bullshit, the more they tend to say, well, actually nothing in this universe matters because they're just getting further away from God.
And they might be right.
But they might also be wrong. And
so what does your heart say in these cases?
Well, here's the thing though, right? The reason why there's no actual reason. I think this is just very interesting altogether. Nihilism on its own means that nothing in the world matters.
Mm-hmm. My
opinion, that's true. But for the same reason that nothing matters, everything matters.
Optimistic nihilism.
There you go.
Yeah, it's if everything is okay, there's a really good story. I'm gonna briefly tell it, then you finish your thought.
Yeah, sure.
Imagine you're running from a tiger.
Sure.
And it's chasing you down, and you're getting out of the woods, and you see in front of you a cliff. And you're getting to the edge of the cliff, and you break, and you fall, and in front of you, you're hanging on the ledge. The tiger finally catches up to you. His teeth are over your head and ready to just devour your neck. And in that brief moment, you notice a little strawberry hanging out of a plant. It's hanging so close to your mouth. You realize these are your last moments on Earth.
Mm.
The strawberry looks very juicy, and the tiger looks very hungry.
Mm.
You have nowhere to go. If you fall down, you're going to die. If you stay there, you're going to die. What will you do?
Probably eat the strawberry.
Eat the strawberry.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of like optimistic nihilism. If you're going to die anyway, why not enjoy it?
Hey, dude, props to that story, to be fair.
It's a Vedic story, bro. It's ancient wisdom. Because think about it this way. Would it be wrong to not eat the strawberry?
No, it would not be wrong. So here's my thought that I had during my revelation. I was in a very lost space where every single sentence in my head, nothing matters, I don't care, right? And you're in this space, I'm in this space. I was very lost. And at some point, I'm looking at all my designer clothes. I'm looking at, like, I was in Miami at that point. Like, what the fuck is this? This doesn't make sense.
Degeneracy.
Yeah, and I'm in this space, and I start having a very deep conversation with me, myself, God. I don't know who it was, what it was, but I was having conversations.
Some other entity.
I was having conversations. And it was like a devil and an angel were yelling in my ears. Do it, don't do it, kill yourself, let it be. Bro, it was going all over the place.
Sorry to hear that.
And well, the reason was, why would I be on the earth if nothing matters anyway? And the other was like, think about it. Why would you? So I'm in this complete nihilistic, monistic state, losing my complete fucking mind over myself. Until I started realizing that if nothing matters, I can create my own reality.
It's your world.
I can literally make everything matter as much as I can for me. The same thing happened to me the first time I realized what the law of attraction was. I didn't know what the capabilities of life were. I was just stuck in this own paradigm of the best thing that I can do is be a complete loser and disappointment to my dad. Until I saw whatever you believe you can. So I said, I want to become the best salesman of this company. Even though I was shit at closing. And 3 months later, I became it. And when I was there, laying on my bed with tears in my eyes, looking at my roof, saying that if nothing matters, I can shape my own reality, so I want everything to matter. That was the first step on having everything that we have around here set up, of really wanting to make a change in the world, of really wanting to make an impact, because it wouldn't matter anyway.
And also everything you don't see, all the experiences, the places, the people.
100%.
All with that one shift of thought.
It all comes to intelligence and consciousness.
Agreed.
So nothing does matter. But for that reason, you can make it matter as much as you want.
It's agreed on that for
I,
sure.
I feel like that's a great note to end on.
Is that our time already?
I'm afraid it is because we don't have as much time because somebody took a very long time to get some things along. But
It's been a pleasure, like always.
it is a very big pleasure. Save, thank you so much for
I
coming.
did
along.
have one question
Okay,
though,
come on.
because you went into it a little bit, and then we'll round it off.
Sure.
Um,
Oh, you had some things prepared. I forgot about
yeah,
that.
I was, I was in the shower. I was like,
Yeah.
we gotta bring it then.
Sure.
Because I've seen your transformation. You've gone through different phases,
Yeah, 100%.
and you just touched upon like how you got to your lowest point at your highest point, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I want to know for Rebien Ghazali, what was your main life philosophy before you had the success that you were always chasing? And after you had the break and switch, what was the main philosophy in the second phase after you got rid of all the designer and stuff?
There is so much potential to grab. This is before, right?
Like the world is your oyster.
Especially coming from my dad that could have been dead multiple times. My philosophy was I'm supposed to be in this world and I'm supposed to take the most of it in a very narcissistic way. So everything that I did was very from a me perspective, a proving perspective. Everything was, listen, my dad put me on this earth. I didn't want it, but I guess I am. I guess it had to happen. So I am a miracle and I'm supposed to make the most of this. Which was kind of toxic.
But it helped you reach some.
Yes. After my revelation, I started realizing, and especially also because I got screwed over for millions of dollars and seeing it happening next to me and seeing how lost people got for power and how, like, all of that stuff happening at the same time together with, like, that period in the US where I literally felt like an angel told me an interesting story. That's when I realized, like, I've always wanted to make a big impact on the world since I was, like, 14 years old without knowing why. Same reason that I never knew why I wanted to become a millionaire. But I wanted to and I did it, I guess. But that was when I was like, I need to leave this earth better than I came on it. And I felt like I was on a mission given by God to do so. And it's all selfless. If I could do and make an unforgettable impact without using cameras and using my brand and using whatever, then I would. But fortunately or unfortunately, this is the only way that I know how to do it.
Garlic and bologna.
I suppose so. But yeah, man, everything for me is just based around how can I make as big as an impact and a change based around the things that have been given to me. For instance, my little brother, my little disabled brother, I've seen so much struggles and problems with him and how he's been growing up. So I know, okay, that's something that I can actually make an impact on, not just for him, but for the millions to, unfortunately, to come. And the parents of them. Refugees as us that didn't get the right help from society to grow up and
weren't
become.
blessed with the brains like us or families
100%.
like us.
100%. That could need help. And science. My brother, listen, if we talk about how, well, we've talked about this, but so much stuff gets like drifted to pseudoscience because people in power want to remain in power.
The
Dude,
stories they believe about themselves and the stories we believe about.
I want to fund those fucking scientists, those physicists that are going against the norm, that are just trying to find ways to challenge all of life's philosophies and theories.
Paradigm shifts.
I want to change the actual world together with them. I'm not smart enough to think of the theories, but I am smart enough to pay them out.
To
right?
bring them together to
And
facilitate.
you can help too, because 50% of all the money that I make goes to all of those types of okay, without joking though, that's
in
actually
the treasury.
that is what actually happens. That is the shift that I made. 50% of all the money that I make is gonna go to that because I don't like. I have everything that I want. My parents have everything that I want. My friends have everything that I want. My proximity gets everything what I want.
Your reality shifted to a very
Freedom.
fortunate and good one.
Freedom is here. So what am I supposed to do with all of those extra millions? Like fucking put it in a trust fund? I don't fucking give a shit. Like I can buy with the like the 40% that's left after like I bought my rent and my paid and my food and whatever. Bro, let me buy a car from that if I want to drive a car. I love cars, but like you know what I mean? So 50% can just go to changing the actual world. Who cares?
Yeah. This
I mean-
also,
The world cares. I don't know.
yeah, it's a great lesson.
So yeah,
Good answer. Good
If-
answer.
anyone asks, it's the fault of the Kurdish people. And on that note,
May your people have a country to call their own one day.
inshallah.
Inshallah.
Sure.
Thank you, guys.